Hi, my name is Arden Compton, and this is my third video talking about how to go from negative emotions to positive emotions. If you haven't watched the first two, go ahead and do that. Go to my blog, from fear to hope.wordpress.com, and take a look at especially the first one, and that way you have some foundation of what I'm talking about. So we're talking about how to go from negative emotions to positive emotions, and I suggested the question, when you're feeling negative emotions, what do I need to do to connect to light and truth and feel good now? Okay, and I gave some suggestions in the second video. But sometimes a person simply doesn't know why they're overwhelmed with negative emotions, overwhelmed with fear or anxiety or panic or something like that, and they just cannot figure out what's going on, okay? And it just seems to come out of nowhere at times. And so I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the mind, the brain, and what's going on with your survival system. Okay, because you have a survival system, it's part of the brain, and its job is to keep you alive. All right, and the brain has a priority to the way that it functions, and the number one priority of the brain is to keep you alive. Nothing else matters if you're dead. So the brain weighs everything against survival. It says we got to make sure we stay alive, no matter what else happens. Okay, and that's good, but also that can come back around to bite us. And contribute to some of these emotions in ways that people usually don't understand. So let me see if I can illustrate this for you. All right. First of all, let's do a very simple exercise. I want you to move one finger. Okay. As you move that finger, how many muscles did it take to move the finger? Do you consciously know? Chances are you don't, and even if you did, it's really not to your advantage to know how many muscles it took. You wouldn't be able to move your finger any better with that information. But chances are you don't know. And the point is that the subconscious mind did that for you. If you move the finger, the subconscious mind says, okay, here's what we need to do. I don't even know what it does. It does something in the brain. It does something in the nervous system. I don't know what it does, but voila, my finger's moving. Okay, so the subconscious mind is orchestrating that. I've heard the subconscious mind referred to as the elephant, the conscious mind referred to as an ant. Okay, the subconscious mind is doing so much more than the conscious mind. Does that make sense? And so what's going on, what we're responding to, is being orchestrated by the subconscious mind, largely, okay? And when a person is experiencing emotions, they don't understand what's going on. Well, it's going on in the subconscious, okay? And so I want you to think about this, and here's an illustration. I'll try to use a simple illustration of this principle, but let's just say that I'm in the mountains. Close by here are some mountains, and let's say I see a mountain lion, all right? What's going to happen to my heart rate when I see the mountain lion? What would happen to yours? Your heart rate would increase, wouldn't it? Okay, that's normal. Sensory input says mountain lion, and the survival part of the brain kicks in and says, okay, we now have a survival threat. Let's say you were hungry. Let's put over here sandwich, okay? You had a sandwich you were about to eat, and then you saw the mountain lion, and the survival system says, okay, mountain lion or sandwich, which one are we going to deal with here? And the sandwich suddenly becomes irrelevant. Can you imagine that? If you were about to take a bite of the sandwich and you see a mountain lion a little ways away, hunger would suddenly boop, be gone. Nothing there. You're not hungry anymore. Because now this is a much more major concern for you. Does that make sense? So, in this situation, I want you to imagine that you do whatever you need to do to survive. Okay? Let's say you get up and run. And let's say you sprain your ankle as you're running away. Well, at that point, guess how much time you take to take care of the ankle? You don't. The survival system says survival, ankle, and it forgets about the ankle. It says, I don't care about your pain. Get up and run anyway because we've got to survive, or taking care of the ankle becomes irrelevant. Does that make sense? So the survival system's constantly weighing things in this scale. And when you finally get to someplace safe, let's just say you get to someplace safe, when you're finally safe, now you relax, okay? And your body's no longer responding to the mountain lion. That's normal, that's healthy, that's appropriate, okay? It's kind of like, just imagine that you've got a little monitor in the back of your brain. This is a monitor, and whatever is on the monitor, the body's going to respond to it. When there's a mountain lion on the monitor, the body says, wah! And you go into what I call a defensive posture, and your heart rate's up, and you're suddenly Superman or Superwoman and throwing large boulders or whatever you need to do to survive, okay? When the mountain lion leaves the monitor, now the body responds to what's on the monitor, and it's a safe environment of some kind. And you, okay, now I'm safe. The problem is sometimes what happens, that's the trauma, this stays on what I call a video loop, where it just keeps going around and around. And what happened was so horrible, so traumatizing, so whatever, horrific in some way, that it never turns off. It's like there was a fire alarm saying danger, danger, and the danger's solved, the fire's been put out, but the fire alarm never turns off because there's a part of the survival system that isn't satisfied that you're really safe yet. And it just keeps this replaying, which keeps you in fear of it happening again. You're constantly afraid of it happening again, even if consciously you don't remember what happened, or even if years have gone by. Time is irrelevant to the subconscious survival system. It does not take time into account. Whether it was yesterday or 20 years ago, it was a moment ago. And if it's still on the monitor going on this video loop, then it feels like it's happening now. And the body reacts as if it's happening now. And a person might feel panic, they might feel anxiety. And consciously, the connection between the conscious and the subconscious isn't always the best. And consciously, they might not know what memory is popping up. They might not know what memory is on the video loop. Sometimes people do. Sometimes they don't. But whether they remember the memory or not, if it's playing on the subconscious monitor going around and around, the body responds to it. And a person may feel panic, a person may feel anxiety, a person may feel stress, a person may feel overwhelmed and not even understand why. And without the right tools, that's almost impossible to overcome. People remain in what we call PTSD for years because, again, the subconscious doesn't care how long it's been. But with the right tools, and I'm going to share with you in some future videos how to use some of the right tools to quickly let go of the negative emotions that are stuck there because of the survival system, and getting out of that over to where there's peace and hope and confidence again, and you can live your life again. And so stay tuned for future videos, because now I'm going to show you how to do that. Now that I've shown you that's part of the problem, and it is for almost everybody, you can be free of this. So stay tuned for future videos. Thank you.